So let's go to the demo. Before going to the demo, I will show you what we are going to do and how we will divert the traffics, etc. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to create a hub subscription. Okay, so in this subscription, I am going to deploy a Vnet. The address space of this is 10.183.0.0/22 maybe. Okay, so now in this, I'm going to deploy a VPN gateway. And then I have a on-premise location. Address space is 192.168.0.0/24. Okay, so from on-premise, I will create one VPN appliance. I will connect over the VPN to my Azure. So now on-premise and Azure connectivity is completed. Now I'm going to create one more subscription, which is my Spock one, which we can call it as AVD subscription. And then I will create another subscription, Spock 2, which is for Citrix, or maybe I'll create another one, which is identity, Spock 3, which is identity, where I may have my AD, DNS, etc. Okay, so now in each subscription, I will create a VM for the testing of connectivity. And then I will create a VM over here also. This is called as jump VM, you can say. Okay, and then I will create a firewall. At last, I will create a firewall. So before going to the firewall, I will tell you something. The moment you create a VPN connectivity, so this my system, which is in on-prem, can communicate to this VM, this VM, this VM, this VM. So it can communicate all the hub and spock. I will tell you how. You may have a question that connectivity is only with the hub, and here I created just a peering, but how this can communicate till here? Okay, so to communicate from here to here, this VPN will help. So it will do the transit routing. It means it can route from here to here as well as from here to here. So before we deploy firewall, how the traffic flow is, for example, from your spoke, you can communicate directly to your on-prem VDI. Okay, so similar way from VDI, you can directly, from your on-premise VM, you can directly talk to your spoke VM. Also from your VDI for on-prem, you can talk to your VM in the hub because it's all going through the VPN. So VPN will establish a connectivity, but you have to make a very important note here. You cannot communicate from this to this. Okay, VPN is only used for the on-premise, not for within the Azure. So until we deploy firewall, you cannot communicate between these two. That we'll see in the demo. Okay, so for now, what we are going to do, I will go step by step. First, I will create a hub Vnet. Hub subscription. Under that, I will create a hub Vnet, which is 10.183.0.0/22. Okay, so let's go to the Microsoft portal. I'll go to subscription. To save time, already created some of the things, but I'll show you how to create. So under subscription, go to subscription and type hub demo. Okay, I'll just review and create. I'm not going to select or any other options. I have already created a hub subscription. You can see here. So you can create a similar over here also. You can create a number of subscriptions. So I have created hub subscription. I created identity subscription, Spock 1, where I will deploy my Azure Virtual Desktop, and Spock 2, where I will deploy my Citrix Virtual Desktop. So let's go to my hub subscription. So you can select this subscription over here. Okay, and then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to deploy a virtual network in this subscription. Okay, so I'm going to define a Vnet here. The address space will be 10.183.0.0/22. So let's do that. So you need to go to create, and then you need to select your subscription. So you may have multiple subscription, right? You need to select your hub subscription. Then you need to create a resource group. Already have a resource group. So if you do not have, you create it and give a name. So I'm going to give hub demo Vnet. Okay, then I will select my region. that is central US, because I'm going to deploy everything in central US. So if I go to my whiteboard, so my hub will be central US, my on-premise will be in West Europe. Okay, so West Europe. In this demo, I have taken my on-premise West Europe. So now I will go to security, then IP address. Here you need to define the address space, which I told you in the beginning, right? The bigger chunk. So it means, so I'm going to, it will create a default one. You can see. So you need to delete the default one if you don't want to use the default one, and then enter your own. I'm going to select 10.183.0.0 address space. I'm going to select /22. It means it will give you 1024. So now it will give you how many IP addresses it will get. Okay. So now I will click add. Now I specified specified Vnet. Okay, the address space for the Vnet. If I go to my this one, so this I have mentioned. Now I need to create a subnet, right? Because one subnet I required for my firewall, one subnet I required for my VPN, and one subnet I required for my jump server or jump VM. So I need to create a 3 subnets. Okay, so I'm going to my Azure portal. Here create add subnet. Add subnet. I'll select the name as jump subnet or VM subnet, you can say. So I'm going to give the address space, that is 10.183.0.0/24. So it means 255 IP, 250, where is this? Okay, 256 IP will be dedicated for this VM subnet. Okay, and then I'll simply click add. Second one, I need to create for my gateways. Okay, I'll come to that point later. So let's finish this one. I'll click review and create. I'll click create. Now what I have done, I created a hub subscription, and then I created a Vnet, and then in the Vnet I put the address space as 10.183.0./22, and then I created a subnet for my jump Vnet, so jump subnet, which is 10.183.0.0/24. Now I need to create 2 more subnets, one for my firewall and one for my VPN. So let's go to the Azure portal. See, it is deployed. If you go to the address space, you can see the address space over here. And if you go to the subnets, you will see subnet, VM subnet. Now I need to add 2 more subnet, one for my firewall. So for Azure firewall, you need to give this name. Okay, so it does not accept any other name. So Azure firewall, always you make sure that you keep this one. Okay, I will select 10.183.1.0/24. This address, this subnet for my Azure firewall. I'll click save. Now I need to create one more for my VPN, right? So I'll click subnet again. I will give the name as gateway subnet. This also, it has to be the name as it is. If you select some other thing, then VPN you cannot able to deploy it. Okay, so here I will select whatever it is providing, right? So I'll keep this same subnet, which is 2.0, and I will simply click save. Now we have completed a Vnet in a hub subscription. We completed a firewall we created a firewall subnet, and then we created a VPN subnet also.